Yeah, at the moment I've been in post for 8 years. Next year this is my last year, so from March this year to March next year is my last year. We are funded by Sport England, so therefore we are set with time frames to be able to sit on the board, and certainly to chair the board, well, even for directors on the board. So we have certain lengths of time. Normally it's 8 years, but if you hold an international position you can stay on for an extra year, which I do, and you can stay on after that for an extra term, but I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because I know that I've done what I can and it's time for somebody else to take over. So I will leave next year. So I will have done 9 years when I finish next year. The roles of the board are very clear. So the role of the board is strategic, it's very strategic. It's to set the vision, it's to set the strategic plan, it's to make sure that to check and challenge the executive, so it's to make sure that the executives are working in the same direction as the strategic plan and the direction that the board want them to work in, and to work in within that to have priorities, so strategic priorities that we give to the executive, to the staff, in order to be able to guide them with the operational plans. The second, I'm not sure it's the second or most important part, but it's probably equal part, is the financial stability of the association. So the board has total responsibility for the financial stability. And which comes first? Does the strategic plan come before the financial stability, or does the financial stability come first? Is a question we ask ourselves all the time on the board. You know, we certainly have the vision, so our vision and our strategic plan is centred around our vision. That has to be the first. But then, you know, like all sports, and particularly sports that are not so financially viable as what some are, then we have to consider our financial situation, and then where does our strategic priorities sit within that financial situation. So for instance, for women and girls, let's use that as an example. So for women and girls, that's a strategic priority. Our board have said to our executive, here you are, here's your strategic priority. Can we afford a special officer to lead that particular project? And the answer is yes. Yes, it's we have done, and we've made sure that that's going to happen. So it's a combination of both, but the work of the board is strategic and is financial security. And then it's also important, we're a member association also. So we have lots of players, lots of people that play table tennis that aren't members. We have something like well over 2 million that play at least once a month. We have close on 500 that play twice a month, but we only have 27,000 members. But those 27,000 members are core table tennis players. So we have the responsibility to them and make sure that we deliver in programmes that help them to be able to continue within the sport. So that's the main roles of the board.